we had read about Asia, Europe and Africa, isn't it, in the previous class. So today we are going to gather more information about North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. So these are the continents which are left, and along with it we are also going to read about and know more about the other realm of the earth, which is the hydrosphere. Okay? So starting with North America, and as you see in the picture here, where do you spot North America? In which direction? Northwest. Since it's above the equator, it is in the north and it is towards the west. So North America is in the northwest. Do you think that North America is entirely in the northwest? Entirely in the northern hemisphere? Or does some part of it also lie in the southern hemisphere? No. It's entirely in the northern hemisphere, isn't it? Okay. So which all are the oceans that surround it? Yes.
In the eastern, it's Atlantic Ocean. In the western, it's the Pacific Ocean, and in the north, it's the Arctic Ocean.
Okay, very good. So as you can see, although the Arctic Ocean is not very clear, but we find that towards the east it is surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, and towards the west by the Pacific Ocean, and Arctic Ocean is towards the north of North America. These are the three oceans which surround it. Anything else that you notice about North America? Yes.
It's the third largest.
It is the third largest continent in the world. So we are doing North America, and we find that it is surrounded by Atlantic Ocean, isn't it? In the east, Pacific Ocean in the west, and Arctic Ocean in the north. Then you also observed that it is the third largest continent. It is the third largest continent. Anything else that you notice about this continent and which you think is something important? Yes? Yes?
It is partially dispersed.
Okay, it is partially dispersed because some area of it you see away from the main continent, mainland. Isn't it? Okay. What else? That's a good observation. Yes?
It lies in the northern and western.
Okay, it lies in the northern hemisphere. It lies in the northwestern part. Now, any more observation on seeing this picture? Yes.
A narrow strip of North America is connected with
South America. Very good. A narrow strip of North America is connected with South America, and this narrow strip is called the Isthmus of Panama. So, in fact, you know, Isthmus is a geographical feature. So, a narrow strip of land connects North America to South America. This is and that narrow strip of land is called
Isthmus of Panama.
It is called the Isthmus of Panama. Now, you know what is isthmus is a geographical feature whereby, yes, Can you say what isthmus is?
Isthmus is a narrow strip of land connecting two big land masses.
Very good. Isthmus is a narrow piece of land, narrow tract of land connecting two big large land masses. Okay? So you find North America and South America, two big land masses, and they are being connected by a narrow strip of land that is termed as a isthmus. Okay? So this is about, these are some facts about North America. Then we move on to the next continent, which is just below North America, and that is South America. So here in South America, what do you observe? Yes?
It is mostly in the southern hemisphere.
Yes, it is mostly in the southern hemisphere. Very good. What else? Yes, what else? Come on. Yes, Rupi?
It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean.
It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so now we read about South America, and as you all mentioned after looking at the map that it is mostly in the southern hemisphere. Why do you say so? Because what passes? Yes. It is mostly in the southern hemisphere and it is surrounded by, again, Atlantic Ocean in the west, Atlantic Ocean in the east and Pacific Ocean in the west. And Pacific Ocean in the west. Now one important thing which is not mentioned there is that it has the longest mountain chain. Have you heard of the name? Yes, the Andes. The longest mountain chain which runs from north of the continent to the south, and it is termed as it is known by the name of Andes. It has the longest mountain chain called the Andes. So you all know about it. And it also has another very special geographical feature. It has the longest mountain chain called Andes. What is the other important geographical feature? Yes, Misha? The largest river. Okay, the Amazon. Now, it has the largest river, Amazon. Okay, one thing which is not shown in your map and which you need to infer is which land is it is below the equator, isn't it? Most part of it is below the equator. So the part which is absolutely down south, what kind of a climate will it have? Yes.
And it will be very cold because Antarctica is very near to it.
Okay, it is more near to the Arctic Circle. So that the area, the tip of South America will be very cold, which is very different, which is quite in contrast to the northern side of South America, which is near to the equator. So that will be very hot, isn't it? The area which is near to the equator will be hot, and the area, the tip of South America will be cold. And so it will present a very diverse climatic condition or feature, isn't it? So now when you say that it has the largest river, Amazon, do you also know, as we had read in the previous period, the longest river? Which is it?
River Nile.
River Nile. Where does it
Africa.
Yes, Africa. So Africa, Nile is the longest river and Amazon is the largest river. I hope you understand the difference between longest and largest. Something which is huge as far as width and is concerned, then it becomes largest. And something which is big in terms of length, then it becomes longest. Now moving on to the next continent, that is Australia. So you have noted down the facts here. South America, mostly in the southern hemisphere, surrounded by Atlantic Ocean in the east and Pacific in the west. It has the longest mountain. What is the name of the mountain? Andes. And it has the largest river called Amazon. Not E, no E. Okay. Now moving on to the next continent, Australia. Okay. Where do you find Australia in the map? Where do you find Australia? Yes. In the southern hemisphere. So it is entirely located in the southern hemisphere, or some parts of it is in the northern hemisphere as well? Entirely located in the southern hemisphere. So Australia is located in the southern hemisphere. What else do you notice? So what else do you know? Australia is located in the southern hemisphere. What else do you know about Australia? Or what else can you gather from the map?
It is surrounded by the Indian Ocean in the west and Southern Ocean.
Indian Ocean in the
West
west
and Pacific Ocean.
okay.
In the east.
And the
Southern Ocean in the
okay. So it is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere, and it is surrounded on all sides by oceans, and so it is also called the island continent. It is also called the island continent. Okay, have you all visited Australia, any one of you? There's one specific animal which is quite, yes,
Polar bear. No, koala.
koala. Okay.
And we have no
And the
one.
kangaroo. Okay. So, and they are all very sweet creatures. Yes. So Australia is home to all these two animals, the koala bear and the koala, sorry, not the koala and the kangaroo, and they are really, yes, they are endangered. Okay. Now we are moving on to the last continent, and that is Antarctica. And again, as with Australia, Antarctica also lies completely lies in the southern hemisphere. What else? Anything else that you can notice about this continent? Okay, one question that I would, have you seen or have you noticed any people living, is it inhabited, or in other words, is it inhabited? Do people live here? No. Why do you think people do not live here? Yes?
Because it is completely in the southern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere the temperature is very cold.
Southern hemisphere, in general, the temperature is very cold. Or probably it lies, yes, Ritvika, to a certain extent you are right, but
It lies
why?
in frigid zone.
It lies in the frigid zone. Yes. So Antarctica lies in the frigid zone, and hence the temperature here is very low, and it is not conducive for living. And hence people do not live here. This continent is not inhabited. Okay. Now, yes. It is a huge continent, despite the fact that it is a huge continent, and breadth-wise, it extends from east to west for a longer, in a long area, but still it is not inhabited because of its very cold temperature. Yes. Yes, it is located in the South Polar region. That is what she said. It is in the frigid zone. Now, but we have teams from different countries visiting this island, visiting this continent and staying there for long periods of time, say probably 3 to 4 months, trying to conduct research on different topics. So from the Indian side, we had two teams that were sent to Antarctica, and they were, do you know the names? Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. So they went, they stayed there, and they conducted their research in this continent. Okay, so this is our insight into the different continents, isn't it? Now, all these continents belong to which realm, which domain? Yes, Sophie? Means we had discussed about the three domains, no? They belong to which domain? The lithosphere. Now moving on, so we have already discussed all the domains. We have already discussed all the continents that lie in the lithosphere. Now moving on to the second domain, which is the hydrosphere. And hydrosphere means the sphere of water. So, you know how much percentage of the earth is made up of land and how much percentage is water? Yes.
71% of water and
29% of land. So, moving on to the next domain of the earth, which is hydrosphere. So we find that the hydrosphere is made up of 71% and 29% land. Now don't you think that water occupies a large portion of the earth?
Yes.
So since water occupies a large portion of the earth, it has also been given another name. Earth has been given another name. Do you know of the name?
Yes.
Yes. The blue planet. The earth is also called the blue planet. Why? Because it consists of 71% water. And why has it been given the name blue planet? Yes.
Because from the space the earth looks totally blue.
Yes. So when you view the earth from space, it appears to be blue in color, and that is why it is referred to. And this blue color is mainly because of the fact that most of it is made up of water. So 71% of the earth made up of water. Now, this water that is present, most of it is not available for use. Okay? 97% of the water lies in the oceans. Okay? 97% of water that is available on earth lies in ocean. Okay, so that leaves us with how much percent? 3%. Okay, so 3%. And out of those 3%, yes, Shafi.
Actually, most of the water is frozen. The fresh water is frozen in the glaciers.
Glaciers and?
So, glaciers and those mountains.
And ice caps, isn't it?
So only 0.001% of water is left for us for fish use.
Okay, so we find that out of the 97%, most of the water is frozen in glaciers and ice caps, isn't it? While we know that 97% of water is unfit for drinking because it is ocean water and ocean water is salty, so it is not fit for human consumption. And then the rest of the water that is there, most part of that water is frozen in ice caps and glaciers. So we are left with a very small percentage of water for our daily consumption and use. And that is why this is ironical that despite the earth having 71% of water, despite the earth being called the blue planet, still we face acute shortage of water. Isn't it? The earth has good amount of water, but it it's ironical that we are facing what?
Shortage.
Shortage of water. So that brings us to the issue of conserving water, isn't it? So do we need to conserve water? Because fresh water or the water which we require for our usage is very less, so we need to conserve it. So how many of you are going to take steps to conserve water? How many of you do take steps to conserve water? Suppose you are brushing your teeth and then do you keep the tap open? So if you are doing so, from next time onwards, don't do it. Because we need to conserve water, otherwise, as estimated, by 2025, the earth will be facing acute shortage of water, and even a liter of drinking water will not be available to common man. Okay? So please stop wasting water. Yes?
Only we can use the method to save water and rainwater harvesting.
Yes. So since yes, that is one of the methods by which we can save water, and that is called rainwater harvesting, whereby rainwater is harvested and it is not allowed to go to be wasted, and hence there are different other methods of conserving water which we will discuss in the coming days. Okay. Now, so despite one major thing that comes out from all these facts is that Earth has got good amount of water, 97% of it is known as a blue planet, but the fact is that we are facing a huge shortage of water, and we need to conserve water. Yes. So all of you must take a pledge to conserve water. In the next class, you come up with some ideas on how to save and conserve water. Okay? Okay, children.